Universal Math and Finance Practical Math Applications, 3rd edition. I'm in Chapter 4 Review Exercise, and this is going over balancing your checkbook. Different checkbooks will look different ways, so if yours doesn't look exactly like this, it's no big deal. You still should be able to carry out the same function, which is to maintain and know how much money you have in the bank. The way that this checkbook register is set up, we have our balance brought forward. That is the amount of money that is in your checking account from where you had another sheet like this and you had to bring your balance over from the previous sheet. And so right now, at that date, you had $523.65. On this one, they have two lines that they're using for recording checks. Some people will skip and just use one line, and if you do that, then that doesn't leave you room to bring over the action that you're doing, but you can still put the balance. So let me show you both ways. If you're using two lines like they are, your check amount, you write a check to Julie Andrews, that will be deducted from the amount that you currently have. Any checks that you write will be deducted from the amount that you have in your checking account. So that makes sense. Anytime we write a check, we have to take that amount from our checking account. Anytime we have a deposit, we get to add that amount to our checking account. The way that they're using the two lines here, they just bring their check amount over and have 164.20. They rewrite it, and then they bring their balance. So when I take $523.65 and I subtract 164.20 from it, I get, let's see, 4, and that's 9, whoops, that's 5. Okay, I get $359.45. And that's how they're carrying that balance. So they're just rewriting these amounts right here. So then I'll subtract $29.46 from my $359.45, and then I'll do it on my calculator just to make sure that I don't make any silly mistakes like I almost did before. I get 329.99. Okay. Now we have a deposit. Whenever we have a deposit, if I currently had $329.99, but I made a deposit of $303.14, that will increase the amount that's in my checking account. So I'm going to add, they rewrite it, and that will make it $633.13. That gives you the rest of these that you can do on your own. When you're finished, the amount that you should have in your checking account is $713.87. That's the way they do the first checking account. Now I'm going to show you how to do it yet another way, because some people will not write in that they won't bring that balance over again. They'll just write the check once. So I have $523.65. I subtract 164.20, and so that would leave me with $359.45. Then I subtract my $29.46. That gives me $329.99. Now, by doing it this way, which is not how the book shows you to do it, but by doing it this way, you always have just your balance in here instead of rewriting the checks. I personally prefer to do it this way and just pull my amounts from here and not rewrite them. You may have a different personal preference, but either way is correct as long as your very last total that you have there represents the balance that you have in your checking account. When you're finished with this sheet, you're out of room. You will take whatever balance is at the bottom and you'll pull it back to the top of the first page so that you can continue to calculate. Again, either way is correct. Okay, that's what most of our personal checking accounts look like. Now, when we go to work, we will likely have check stubs that look more like this. And our check will actually be off to the side here, perforated and connected to it. So each time we write a check, we'll have our balance brought forward. And then this particular check is for $33.10. So this was not, where am I? This was not a deposit. This leaves me with $890. The amount of this check is $33.10. There were no other deductions. That makes my new balance $767.80, which I will take to the very next check. So this is check 107, this is check 108. So this balance will now be brought forward to here. $767.80. Again, this was not a deposit. The check is, my balance is still $767.80. The amount of this check right there is $6.55. There were no other deductions. And then that makes this $761.25, which is just taking that and subtracting the amount of the check from it. When I get that balance, it gets brought forward to there. The balance from 109 will be brought forward to 110. The balance to 110 will be brought to 111, and then of course 111 to 112. On 112 we have a deposit. Remember that deposits get added and checks get subtracted. That should always keep us to where we know how much money we have in our checking account, which is the goal of doing it. If you have any questions, then please just let me know, and I'll be glad to go over any of the other problems with you.